Joko Widodo instructs probe into football riot, while survivors blame authorities for the tragedy. And political parties in Malaysia ready to face upcoming general elections. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Muhammad Yusuf and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. The deadly football incident in Indonesia today has shocked the world with an unfathomable number of deaths caused by a sport that should be bringing people together instead. In an attempt to resolve the problem once and for all, the country's president, Joko Widodo, has instructed his relevant ministry to probe into the matter.
I have asked the Minister of Health and Governor of East Java to monitor closely the medical services conducted for victims being treated to get the best treatment. I have also asked the Minister of Sports and Police Chief, as well as head of PSSI, to evaluate thoroughly football matches and its security procedures. I have specifically requested the police chief to also investigate and get to the bottom of this case. I regret this tragedy, and I hope this is the last tragedy to occur in Indonesian football. We cannot have any more in the future. Sportsmanship, humanity, and brotherhood in the nation should be upheld together.
Additionally, Widodo said no more major football matches are to be held for the time being until evaluations and improvements to the safety procedures have all been completed. This tragedy may also cause Indonesia to lose its opportunity to host the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in May and June of 2023. Similarly, the country is also one of the 3 countries bidding to host next year's Asian Cup.
As of press time, 174 people have died following the deadly stadium riot in Malang, East Java earlier today. Survivors blame authorities for handling the situation poorly. While those suffering injuries are being treated at the Kanjuruhan Hospital, many lament on the loss of lives and express frustrations over repeated mismanagement.
Tear gas was not only inside the stadium but also outside. Even in shops and stalls outside were also shot with tear gas. Many of our friends lost their lives because of officers who did not humanize us. We are very disappointed with the treatment because many lives were lost.
A paramedic from the hospital said most of the survivors are being treated for light injuries, breathing difficulties, and trauma.
In total, there were 93 people consisting of mild, moderate, and severe injuries. Many of those who were lightly injured have gone home, and there are only 12 people left. There were 21 people who died, 6 people were identified, and the rest were 15 people.
There have been outbreaks of riots in football matches before due to the strong rivalries between football clubs that has led to violence among supporters. Such hooliganism has blighted the country's football scene, which has prevented Indonesia from nurturing potential players in the sport.
Now, is it appropriate to hold the 15th general election this year, or do voters need more time to assess the political climate of Malaysia and choose who to vote for? This and concerns over the northeast monsoon season have triggered various reactions and questions from members of the public. Let's take a look at their responses.
Okey, pendapat saya disebabkan kalau kita undi terlalu cepat pun sebab kita masih ada tempoh orang kata tenure untuk kerajaan tu. Jadi disebabkan rakyat sekarang ni pun dalam keadaan orang kata bingung jugalah kan untuk menghadapi persediaan untuk banjir. Jadi kita rasa pada pendapat saya kita tak perlu rushing benda ni lah. Dan kalau undian dilakukan pada tahun depan pun bagi saya tiada masalah lah.
My opinion for election, right, maybe next year better. Because now during the year end, right, raining season and this and that. So maybe next year will be better.
Pandangan saya lah, saya rasa lebih elok sampai habis penggal lah. Sampai habis penggal. Sebab bila pilihan raya, kita pun tahu hujung tahun ni kan banjir. Jangkaan lah banjir, jangkaannya banjir. Dan bila pilihan raya tak cukup tempoh, kan duit membazir. Kalau habis tempoh kan cantik.
Kalau pendapat saya, PRU ni buat tahun hadapan lah. Sebab sekarang kita bersiap siaga untuk banjir kan. Saya duduk Shah Alam, so Shah Alam pun one of the part terkesan juga kan. So better buat next year lah.
Meanwhile, political parties in Sarawak and Peninsular Malaysia are ready to face the upcoming 15th General Election or GE15. According to Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, the Vice President of Parti Pesaka Bumi Putera Bersatu PBB, the timing of the election, be it immediate or later, will not incur issues as parties, especially the Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS, are fully geared to win the election.
Ya, semasa diadakan tahun ini, tahun hadapan bagi kita di Sarawak ini, kita menunggu saja seruan itu ataupun kita menunggu saja beduk itu diumumkan ataupun pembubaran parlimen.
In regards to question about holding an election during the northeast monsoon season where flood will likely to occur, Karim remains optimistic that the election will run smoothly.
Unless we can read, know where it's going to be banjir, we are not God. We cannot predict banjir. Sekarang ini tiap-tiap kali pilihan raya macam-macam lah. Ada kata gempa bumi lah, banjir lah, taufan lah. We are not really sure. For all you know, it might be a peaceful. This one, you can't really predict that there's going to be banjir.
Right. Political stability is crucial to develop and fulfilling infrastructural needs in Sarawak. According to Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, both the state government and the Ministry of Rural Development has come to an agreement that better coordination is needed to implement development projects in rural and remote areas of Sarawak.
Untuk kita mempertingkatkan lagi koordinasi dari segi pelaksanaan projek-projek itu. Lebih lagi jalan-jalan kampung, jalan-jalan luar bandar untuk pelaksanaan bekalan air, bekalan elektrik. Ini kita nak buat supaya projek-projek ini dapat kita laksanakan. Dan mana yang ada peruntukan di bawah kerajaan negeri, dan kita boleh susun semula supaya peruntukan daripada kerajaan persekutuan melalui Kementerian Luar Bandar akan dapat ditempatkan.
Better facilities will also elevate the standards of life for the people located in different parts of Sarawak. Tengah said once entrepreneurs are successful in creating a sustainable market for themselves, the government would then help them market their products to a higher level.
The Rural Entrepreneurs Mini Carnival has earned more than 1.1 million ringgit in sales. This was beyond the initial target set by the Ministry of Rural Development, KPLB, for the 3-day carnival, which launched at the Limbang Sports Complex on Friday.
Jualan daripada pertamanya lebih kurang 30,000 pengunjung dalam masa 3 hari ini berkunjung ke gerai-gerai, kedai-kedai dan jualan kutipannya lebih daripada RM400,000. Dan sepanjang 2 hari ini dan kariban ini berlangsung ada business matching. Ada business matching mencecah hampir 1.1 juta ringgit.
The minister said the value overall includes cash sales, orders, and business matching. The mini carnival is one of the several initiatives under KPLB to empower and develop the financing system, physical facilities, and rural support system for rural entrepreneurs. Various activities were carried out during the 3-day carnival, including exhibitions and advisory services related to entrepreneurship and education by KPLB and more than 100 entrepreneurs.
On to our next story. The Ministry of Women, Children and Community Welfare will issue temporary documents for stateless children aged 21 and under. According to its Minister, Datuk Seri Fatimah Abdullah, this will enable these children to gain access to health and education benefits that are applicable to any Sarawakian or Malaysian.
The application for the temporary documents will begin this December. However, the applicants have to abide by several rules. For instance, an application to recognize their citizenships.
Ini yang kita kata salah satu daripada dokumen yang ataupun syaratnya ialah bahawa ada pembuktian bahawa telah memohon kewarganegaraan. But walaupun ya katakanlah ada di antara mereka belum memohon, jadi kita minta mereka mohon dulu. Mohon kewarganegaraan sebab yang penting ialah kewarganegaraan.
At the same time, Fatimah said children who have yet to have their citizenship status recognized will have to pay 120 ringgit for school fees for a year in primary school and 240 ringgit for a year in secondary schools. Thus, her ministry will ask the Education Department to re-examine the matter.
For the past 2 years, the Kuching Marathon has been cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Officially making its return in 2022, the annual event was able to gather more than 10,000 participants from different parts of the world. According to the Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts, Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, the event is set to become one of Sarawak's annual sports tourism event.
Kalau dilihat di Bandaraya Kuching pada masa ini, bajet hotel semua habis. This is a good sign. Cukup gembira sekali kerana ramai sekali yang datang itu adalah daripada luar. Sama ada daripada luar Kuching, bukan daripada Sarawak, dari Miri, Sibu, Bintulu dan sebagainya. Ataupun yang datang daripada Singapura, Semenanjung Malaysia dan negara-negara lain.
He said this to reporters after performing the flag-off ceremony of the Kuching Marathon in the 42 kilometers category. Other than Malaysia, the 2022 Kuching Marathon saw participations by foreigners from Indonesia, Brunei, Singapore, China, United Kingdom, Kenya, Philippines, Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, India, Taiwan, Germany, Thailand, and Nigeria. 4 categories were competed at the 7th edition of Kuching Marathon event, with the first departure being the 42 kilometers, following with 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and 5 kilometers category. Since its debut in 2014, the Kuching Marathon event always received the warmest welcome from both locals and international community.
The State Cabinet has agreed to the formation of the Betong Division Development Agency BDDA during its meeting on Thursday. Deputy Premier Dato' Ahmad Douglas Ugahambah said the agency was formally named as the Betong Integrated Development Agency, or BIDA. According to him, BDDA comprises of Laya, Bukit Saban, Krian, Kalaka, Saribas, Beting Maro, Kabong and part of the Lingga state constituencies.
He disclosed this when officiating at the closing of a leadership and management course for the Longhouse chiefs and secretaries of their respective village security and development committees from 33 longhouses in Rimbas Ulu, Debak on Saturday. Uga, who is also Bukit Saban assemblyman, said that like other similar regional development agencies in the state, Premier of Sarawak Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg had allocated 1.5 billion ringgit to BDDA. Elaborating on the economic activities, Uga said BDDA has huge potential for fruits and vegetable farming, besides poultry and other livestock rearing. Uga also said tourism would be another sector for exploitation. The state government had recently approved a sum of 16 million ringgit to build a replica of the ancient fortress of the legendary Iban nationalist Rentap, plus other supporting facilities at its exact location at Bukit Sadok. In addition, the public is now awaiting the completion of the 250 million ringgit Bebuling Stallport in February 2024 to send out farm products and to bring in the tourists and visitors. While on the course, he said it was to help the Longhouse chiefs and the secretaries to better manage their respective Longhouse committees.
Keringkam is the most precious heritage of the Malay community in Sarawak. Painstakingly produced by hand, they fetch high prices and were once worn only by the nobles in Sarawak. The fine arts of Keringkam embroidery are still alive and well today, and efforts are being made to preserve and conserve these precious crafts.
Culture and heritage reflect and shape values and aspirations, thereby defining community identity. It is important to preserve our cultural heritage because it depicts our integrity as a community. However, there is a risk that this cultural heritage could die out or disappear. That is why we need to safeguard it and manage a heritage that is constantly changing and part of a living culture. So as to keep alive, tangible cultural heritage must remain relevant to a culture and be regularly practiced and learned within communities and between generations.
With unique designs and motifs which have interesting names such as chicken feet, mountain, irrigation canals, Caesar lace, beans, creeping plants, flowers, orchids, and geometric patterns such as crowns, Keringkams have also become precious heirlooms for many Sarawakian Malay families that have managed to pass on these treasures from one generation to another.
Contohnya di Sarawak, Selayar Keringkam itu telah menjadi simbol orang Melayu Sarawak. Itulah uniknya tekstil Sarawak Melayu ini, sebab ia menjadi satu refleksi kepada budaya komuniti Melayu itu sendiri. The making of this textile is an ongoing activity that is inherited from one generation to the next. Not only is it significant due to heritage or possible economic value, but also because they create a certain emotion within us. It reflects various meaning and also way of life.
For centuries, Keringkam has stood the test of time, being the crown of elegance and beauty for Sarawakian Malay women. It is not just a head covering, it is a symbol of social status, culture, history, traditions, religion, heritage, and more. Thus, the art of Keringkam and the skills of Keringkam making must be preserved, expanded, and promoted among the youth of today.
Coming up right after the break, Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob needs to seek Cabinet's view before dissolving the Parliament, and Philippines celebrates dog weddings. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TVS Nightline. Now, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob should seek the Cabinet's views in regards to the dissolution of Parliament in order for the 15th general election to be held. According to Bersatu's Secretary General Datuk Seri Hamzah Zainuddin, Malaysia's current political situation is very much different from the time when Barisan Nasional or BN was the dominant party in the government.
Hamzah, who is also the Minister of Home Affairs, also said since there are many parties in the current government, the Cabinet's view must be taken into account, as this is stated in the Constitution. The UMNO Supreme Council, which convened on Friday, decided that the 15th general election is to be held this year. Hamzah was speaking to reporters after the closing ceremony of the Sabah Zone Kita Demi Negara program on Sunday.
The Youth and Sports Ministry KBS will focus on the development of the e-sport industry in the upcoming budget 2023. Its Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal Azumu said e-sports have the potential to bring growth in the country. He added that even though e-sports is not popular compared to physical sports, it should be given a priority due to the impact of the said sports, especially among younger generations.
Ahmad Faizal further explained that KBS will prioritize e-sports to boost the national sport industry. He also said that the ministry will also work on mass sports in addition to maintaining a focus on high-performing athletes. He told reporters after officiating the KBS Trail Run, Love Nature for Our Future 2022 on Sunday. Regarding the program, the minister said that it is a good start for the 2022 National Sports Day celebration, which will take place in this upcoming weekend.
Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia or Bersatu wants the leadership of UMNO to think of the people's interests before making any decision to dissolve the parliament for the 15th general election. Its Deputy President Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal Azumu said UMNO should not focus solely on efforts to gain power and should pay heed to other factors such as the weather, preparedness of security forces and national expenditure if GE15 is going to be held.
He said this when asked to comment on the proposal of UMNO's Supreme Council, which wants Parliament to be dissolved soon to enable the 15th general election to be held this year. On Friday, UMNO Secretary General Datuk Seri Ahmad Maslan said based on the proposal, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob will present a proposed date for dissolution to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong in accordance to Article 40, subsection 1 of the Federal Constitution. When asked about Bersatu's preparations for the 15th general election, Ahmad Faizal said the party is ready to work closely with Perikatan national partners to establish a stable government and provide good services to the people.
Thank you for staying with us. Now on to some global update. An earthquake with a magnitude of 5.9 has struck Japan's Miyazaki prefecture and its surrounding areas on Sunday. Fortunately, no tsunami warnings were issued, and this is the second earthquake to hit Japan since March 16th of this year.
According to Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, the quake occurred in 12:02 a.m. local time, 30 kilometers off the Osumi Peninsula. The agency added that the trembler measured 4 in some areas, while some other areas, such as Ehime and Kagoshima, measured as a 3 in the Richter scale. The JMA also did not issue a tsunami warning as a result of the quake, and there have been no immediate reports of accidents from it. An operator of Kyushu Electric Power Company said there is no abnormality found in the Sendai nuclear power plant in Kagoshima Prefecture. On another incident, a 5.1 magnitude quake also hit the southeast of Ierapetra in Greece. There is no warning of tsunami as well.
Wrapping up the Nightline, Pomeranians Michi and Mochi were among 15 four-legged couples that tied the knot at a pet wedding ceremony in the Philippines on Sunday that was held along with a special blessing of pets to mark the World Animal Day. Owners Ian De Gia and Brian Largo joined hundreds of other pet lovers for the occasion, donning their furry friends in gowns and tuxedos.
Last year they had their babies nights with us. Then today they had their parang informal wedding October of last year. So we're kind of celebrating lang 1 year of it.
The canine couples took the plunge at a park by a shopping mall where hundreds of animals, including cats, rabbits, and guinea pigs, also received blessing in a drive-through and in-person ceremony from a priest who sprinkled them with holy water.
Bakit importante ang pet blessing sa mga pet is para protection din sa kanila and guidance din kay Lord, especially good health and long life sila magkasakit.
It was the first in-person ceremony since the pandemic to mark World Animal Day, celebrated worldwide to recognize animal rights and welfare, which falls on October 4th.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates, both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or by following us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, I'm Muhammad Yusuf. Thank you for watching and good night.